There are bajillions of hot chocolate recipes online. Why is yours different? Because after studying numerous popular recipes, conducting multiple tests, this emerged as my favorite. And I've mastered 3 different ways to make it. But what makes a hot chocolate? The very basic ingredient is some liquid, commonly dairy. Pair it with chocolate, you'll get yourself a classic French-style hot chocolate. Pair it with cocoa powder, you'll get an American hot cocoa, often labeled as hot chocolate in stores. These days, many blend both for an intensified chocolate experience, usually with some kind of sweetener. Throw in a dash of salt for a chefy touch. Add cornstarch, you'll get a thick pudding like Italian or Spanish style. Blend with the yolks, you'll have an Austrian experience. Add spices, you'll get a Latin American. Blend in coffee or a hint of orange flavor for a creative twist. But for today, let's keep it simple and focus on these fundamental elements. And of course, it's crucial to understand these 3 key ingredients. Dark chocolate offers a diverse range of forms and components, spanning from semi-sweet, bittersweet, and intense bitter chocolates. The left side sweeter and right side more bitter. In theory, you have the freedom to choose any percentage you want. However, bear in mind that the darker you go, the less or even no cocoa powder is needed, and more sugar is added. But if you go for the other end, you might find yourself with a drink that's overly sweet. Personally, I prefer using 65%. Chop it into smaller bits for easy melting. Now, let's talk about cocoa powders. Never assume they're all cut from the same cloth. It's crucial to sample and taste your cocoa powders to decide which one or ones you fancy for a drink. Natural cocoa powder tends to be lighter in color, carries an acidic and bitter profile, and may boast fruity and woody notes. Dutch processed cocoa powder, however, has very darker hues, contains more fat, and generally offers a richer, more chocolatey taste. Keep in mind that each product has its unique flavor. And here's a tip, pricier doesn't always mean better. In my case, I blend an equal part of natural and Dutch processed cocoa powders. Sift 45 grams together, mix well, and set aside. Lastly, dairy. For home tests, I compared these 2 whole milks, and I highly recommend using 冰博客 or Milbach. Compared to regular milk with an average fat content of around 3.5%, 冰博客boasts a hearty 5.5. It is sweeter to taste and contains less water, both of which contribute to texture of drink. Hot chocolate is all about a balance between the cocoa mass and milk fat, so the choice of dairy is crucial. However, if regular milk is your only option, a dash of cream will give the boost it needs. I'll provide a substitute recipe at the end of the video. Alright, let's make the hot chocolate. In a tall saucepan, weigh out 440 grams of 冰博客, adding 3 mini packs of condensed milk weighing 36 grams as sweetener. Heat the milk mixture over medium to low heat. Now here's a pro move. Use a hand beater to whisk continuously. If you're not feeling muscle work, that's cool. But starting with a good whisk from get-go incorporates air into the milk, creating a lighter texture. At a certain point, you'll notice foam starting to make its way outside the pan. Simply lift the pot off the heat and keep on whisking. Once it settles down, place it back on the heat. This expansion is a good sign. It means the milk temperature has hit at least 80 degrees Celsius. Repeat this lifting and heating routine a couple of times, and you're ready to turn off the heat. Immediately toss in a pinch of salt and the mixed cocoa powders. Give it a quick whisk. Then dump in the chocolate and keep whisking for a while till all the chocolate's melted and there's no visible cocoa powder. Immediately pour the drink into your prepared mugs. This recipe yields 2 servings or 4 if you prefer them in smaller sizes. Personally, I like to top it with some whipped cream rather than marshmallows. Also grate on top some bitter chocolate. This control version emphasis more towards the chocolate flavor than the buttery and milky taste. It's on the thicker side, especially when cooled to the perfect sippable temperature, though not overwhelmingly thick like the Italian or Spanish style. Now, if you use regular milk, swap 冰博客 with 400 grams of regular milk and 25 grams whipping cream. Except adding an extra pack of condensed milk, all other ingredients remain unchanged. This is a pro version for those who truly understand the essence of chocolate. You see, chocolate is essentially a blend of cocoa butter and non-fat cocoa solids or powder. Commercial cocoa powder typically contains some amount of fat, so when calculating how much cocoa butter to use, keep that in mind. Depending on the type of chocolate you're working with, sugar content shouldn't be ignored either. Here are the converted volumes for this version. 30 grams of natural cocoa powder, 42 grams of Dutch processed cocoa powder, 28 grams cocoa butter, and about 30 grams sugar. The process of making the drink remains unchanged. By the way, I'm scaling down the recipe to a quarter for each version here. I've done countless tests, and at this point, I feel like I'm on the verge of chocolate coma. Tasting them side by side, the control and pro versions share quite a similar texture, thicker and tastier than a regular milk version. But if you prefer thinner and more drinkable experience, increase Bimbo by 20 to 40 grams. By the way, I had high hopes for the pro version, and I tested 2 recipes with very close ratios of milk fat, cocoa butter, and solids. They just don't taste the same as control. And this one's thinner than this one. I reckon hot chocolate lacks a single standard to be crowned best. And this video is meant to share discoveries in my kitchen and hopefully inspire you to experiment in yours. Subscribe and like if you find it helpful. See you.